The one thing that's absolutely going to happen to people who go to and stick with therapy is that they're going to have two moments of realization that they're stronger than their trauma. The first one is conscious realization, the second one is the subconscious realization. Now, you may think that both of them should be the same, but that's unfortunately not the case because our subconscious is way more powerful than our conscious. And even though when we're thinking about this and it makes just complete sense to us, logical sense, it may not make complete sense to our subconscious mind. Now, the conscious realization that I was stronger than my trauma came to me when I was talking with my therapist around the 4 month mark when since I was starting therapy. And at that point, I was already I already went through understanding what it feels like one when I've already processed one of my traumas, and I've discussed this in this video here. And at this 4 month mark, I was going through pretty much my worst time since I was alive, or at least what I thought was my worst time. And I was processing so my dad and everything else that he did with me, and this was kind of like manifesting within my work environment where my boss was pretty much I'm going to say abusing me in the workplace and was pretty much manifesting one or the other. And the one thing that my therapist told me, like, Blash, yes, you may think that currently this is bad, but what you're feeling right now, the pain, the fear, and any other emotion that you're feeling is the exact same thing that you felt when you were a child. And you're an adult now. You have the power now. You're in control. You survived what happened as a child. You're going to survive this. And that was the moment that it clicked consciously to me that, yes, I was stronger than my trauma and I was going to live through it and I was going to end up in the end thriving. Now, that was my conscious realization. My subconscious for sure did not believe me because this ordeal, the the worst part of the trauma and all of the triggers lasted for another 4 months. So when I was 8 months in to my therapy, and only at the 8 month mark, my subconscious started to believing the same thing that yes, I am stronger than my trauma. And this, I don't exactly know what part of day this happened, but I know the week that it happened. And it kind of started slowly. It was like a long moment where I was just reflecting on what was happening with me in my therapy sessions. And all of a sudden, I started just to feel better. I don't know why exactly or what thoughts triggered it, but like all of the burden from my shoulders and my chest, it was always like I felt like I had 40, 50 pound weight on me. It started to lift a little bit. Everything better, nicer. It was actually spring. So that was fun and that was amazing. Like the nature was waking up again, and so was I. And the further along that the week went, the more determined I was subconsciously as well that I was going to survive all of this and that I was going to end up being better than what I was at that time. And then I realized that, yes, finally, my subconscious also believed that. We went through the worst thing, went through the most intense and difficult trauma that, and processed it. And there was a light at the end of the tunnel. And yes, I was stronger than my trauma. And when my subconscious made that realization, it was one of the best things since my conscious and subconscious were finally aligned. Because at that point, for 4 months, they were not aligned. And it is really hard for a person when you're going through, and when they're not aligned, also using a lot more energy. Just for processing the trauma is you used a tremendous amount of it. And pretty much for me, it became my only occupation at that point. And at that point, I was actually on sick leave because I was processing so much I could not handle straight up. And when that happened, when my conscious and subconscious became aligned, then it all started to fit together. And it just became like my life didn't wasn't as gloomy as it was before. And I knew that I had amazing things will happen to me sooner or later. Now, the funny part about that one was that a week later, I was offered a job, which at that point I can almost construe as my dream job for that moment in time where I was. And actually, therapy also made me quit that dream job. And if you want to find out why, this is going to be the video here.